Hi everybody, you're listening to the Khandaan podcast by the You Podcast team, a bi-weekly podcast revisiting the movies of Amir Khan, Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan.
Every show we pick a random year from 3 decades of collectively 300 films the Khans have done and let our listeners vote which movie we should talk about. So it's entirely up to you.
Pick a team, make a vote, take us down nostalgia lane, punish us or make us reassess a movie we dismissed.
We love the Khans, most of us, sometimes. And we would love for you all to be part of our Khandaan, because when it comes to the Khans in Bollywood, nothing else really matters.
Okay, let's get started, guys. Amrita Sujoy, you're here, all fine and well, but we have Justin Rao here, the man for which Kangana Ranaut is now at the moment training in kickboxing. Justin, man.
Well, I take no credit. Absolutely zero credit.
If she's kickboxing, Justin, what are you doing at this moment? Are you doing push-ups?
Hiding.
While...
I think, you know that Sultan montage where Salman Khan is sort of prepping to fight? I think something like that is happening minus the entire body of Salman Khan. So that stage is where I am right now.
You're doing the behind the scene where he was kind of just eating jalebis and donuts and getting fat. That's the training you're doing.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite Sultan bit. Yeah, exactly.
Oh God, no! But I think we've wanted to have you on for a very, very long time, and this kind of worked out perfectly with a few organizational changes. So I think we're all three of us are super excited, and like always, the tendency I tend to talk too much to my guests and not let my co-host talk. So Sujoy, I'm really happy to talk to you guys too, by the way.
हमारे साथ सत्याला व्यवहार नहीं होगा.
I also want to point out to those of our listeners who are not on Twitter, you should really check out Justin's Twitter account, because he makes these amazing mashups that I've been talking about to everybody that I can find, even the people who are not on Twitter. Justin, can you just explain what you do, because I think it's super interesting.
Right. So basically the idea was, for a very long time, I would, take my family vacation videos and add random Bollywood songs to it. And I would feel really happy. One day I sort of edited my friends, and we went to Pondicherry for a vacation, and I added Dil Chahta Hai track to it, because that's exactly what any teenager aspiring to Goa would do. And I did that, and it worked very well. And I sort of got a kick. And at the same time, TikTok happened to my life before it was taken away from India. And I thought it really gave me a very interesting outlet to reimagine Bollywood songs. And for a very long time, I would tell my parents, my girlfriends and my wife, what if this song was shot this way? And I sort of used the lockdown as an opportunity for me to finally sit down and reimagine Bollywood songs. So basically, I take one retro song and I put another visual to it, and that's basically what I do. And I call it Bollywood Reimagine, that series, but I've never given it the title on Twitter. So that's where it really comes from.
And it's beautiful, Justin will take these really old songs that have so much meaning for all of us who grew up watching Bollywood, and then he'll match it to these visuals from movies. I think the one that really broke through for me was when you did the visuals from Jab Harry Met
Sejal, yeah.
Oh my God, I hate that title so much.
Justin did the mashup with Guide, wasn't it?
Tere Mere Sapne with Marriage Story. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But it was so amazing to me, because I remember watching that movie and just being so angry the whole time that I watched that movie, and then Justin did it and I was like, Justin should have made this movie. I would have enjoyed this so much more.
I watched Jab Harry Met Sejal 4 times in theaters, and I hated it all 4 times, and I still don't know why I went to watch it. Yeah, it is ridiculous.
Why did you go 4 times?
I'm still figuring it out. I think that's my life's purpose. Like I feel like I am an Imtiaz Ali hero trying to figure out why I watched a bad Imtiaz Ali film 4 times. It's such a up zone, but that's where it is.
So for what it's worth, that song, Hawaii, from which the visuals were taken, that in itself is really, really beautiful. And I think that the songs of that movie are so much superior than what actually came out to be the movie itself.
I agree.
Hawaiian makes me think of farts, by the way.
Of course it does.
Of course it does.
So Asim is a Salman fan, and for him, Hawaii means Sameer Hawa Ka Jhoka.
Exactly. By the way, how do you know these old ass songs, man? I'm 40. All of these songs you use, I've never heard of them. How do you know these songs?
Actually, I don't know many of these songs. I mean, of course I do. I've heard them growing up, but my wife is a huge sort of retro Hindi song fan. So, because of the pandemic, of course, we both were working from home and we both are journalists. So, after a long day of work, we would just sort of switch on Alexa and start playing these old retro playlists. And that's where because we would just hear those songs and I would keep on visualizing, because most of these songs I, of course, did not even remember the video. So, I would just keep thinking randomly that how would these songs look? How would Tere Mere Sapne look? I mean, of course, I've seen the video, but I didn't instantly sort of recollect it. So for me, that's where it started. How would a Tere Mere Sapne look on screen? And I started imagining it with Marriage Story of a couple falling apart. And by the way, just a backstory, that the Tere Mere Sapne fusion with Marriage Story happened because that night my wife and I had a huge fight, and I remember we had a huge fight, and I don't know what the issue was. Clearly not big enough because we were on good terms later. But I remember being in my drawing room and just thinking about this fight, and somehow because the last big film which had a bigger fight was Marriage Story, I kind of gravitated towards Marriage Story, and that's when I thought about what if I add Tere Mere Sapne of a couple who thought of a very good life but didn't end up together. So that was how that video started.
Basically, Justin is making content for people like Asim who can't relate to older people, and he just wants glitzy newer people, but with older songs and everything.
Totally prettier people, better dressed people, and also I'm such a Philistine here that you're talking about Tere Mere Sapne, and it's probably not the Tere Mere Sapne I'm thinking of.
No, I was thinking, Asim is probably thinking that ABCL movie with Chandrachud Singh.
Chandrachud Singh taxi mein kaun sa gana gaata hai? Okay, so but they are great. They make me listen to old ass songs, which I tend to not do. So good on you, Justin. You're doing social service, especially for me. Let's talk about a bit of Bollywood news. Bollywood has filed a court case against I don't even understand, because a lot of these people I don't know and I don't follow. It's 34 leading production houses or producers have filed a case against Republic TV, Arnab Goswami, Pradeep Pandari, Times Now Group, Navika Kumar. I only know one of these names. But I understand these are hate monger, hate machines, right? That I understand. And I think a lot of big names have kind of signed up, right?
All of them, I think, except for Ekta Kapoor's Balaji and Bhushan Kumar's T-Series. I think probably the entire most of the production houses are there on the list.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. Ekta Kapoor's Balaji didn't sign on.
No, they did not. Not even T-Series. And I don't think even Medoc Films is there. Not even that.
Wow.
Yeah, so Amir Khan is in there. Ajay Devgan is in there. Anil Kapoor. Arbaz Khan production. Usko bhi bula liya. Ashutosh Gowarikar.
Salman Khan.
Kabir Khan. So there's lots of Nadia Adwala son. Love Films, Red Chilies, Rakesh there's tons of them. There's 34. I'm not going to read all of them out. And
I was getting scared. I was just going to read the whole ass list right now.
No. Rehem kar raha hu main sab pe. But there's a lot of them. And this was like, I think this was kind of a long time coming, I guess. But Justin, what is your feeling about this? How do you see this as like somebody who's in the know?
It was clearly a long time coming, Asim, because to be very honest, the entire coverage of Sushant Singh Rajput's death was extremely derogatory and highly insensitive. I mean, the way Indian media went after Bollywood and film stars, painting the entire industry as this hub of murderers and drug lords, and all these celebrities are only taking drugs and out there to kill each other and watch others getting dead over some dark internet. I mean, there were these insane conspiracy theories which were flooded on social media from Twitter to Instagram, and they were sort of aided by the mainstream news coverage. Everyone who was in the know of what was happening clearly called the toxic media coverage out, but the whole issue was that Bollywood was not taking a stand. So no matter how many people come out for their support on Twitter, it's not really going to translate if you yourself don't stand up for the hate. So what, of course, the industry did was exceptionally well. I mean, about time that they stood up for the hate and the toxic behavior.
And is this specifically related to the Sushant Singh coverage, or is this like...
Yeah.
It is, okay.
What did you think it would be, if not that?
I don't know. I just thought, like, with legal approaches, you need something specific, right? So I was wondering, because like Arnab Goswami, he's been doing this for like the last... I mean, this was maybe the kind of like the breaking point, but he's been doing this nonsense since I've heard his name, right?
I think they'll probably go for like slander, I think, from a legal viewpoint. Because it is slander, if you go down saying that these people conspired to kill somebody and that they are drug lords and shit, then that is slander. So that's probably the angle that they're taking.
Yeah. Amrita, what do you think about it?
So when it first came out, like everyone on Twitter was talking about like, why are Ajay Devgan and Akshay Kumar on this list and everything, and I was like, yeah, of course they're on the list, like if people are, because you've seen those weird conspiracy theories about like Akshay killing Sushant so he can steal some sort of app.
I think that was ridiculous, And to imagine Akshay, I think the game developer had to come out with a statement that, this is not stolen. And I mean, it was sad. Like, where have we stooped? Imagine Akshay Kumar, you're alleging Akshay Kumar of stealing game data. I mean, there are other things to accuse him of, like, whatever, but clearly not this.
Wasn't there also that Sushant Singh had a patent for a COVID? I didn't dream that, right? That really happened.
I think two of the most insane theories that I remember reading was, of course, one that he had developed patent for COVID, and which is why he had to die because he was about to submit it to the government and etc. etc. And the other was how I think the Khans paid some people to kill him, and then they saw his death on the dark web. I mean, it was insane. And the fact that there were people buying that theory, I mean, of course, as it turns out, most of them were bots, because Mumbai police report clearly said that 80,000 fake accounts were created. But imagine this really translate, even if the whole campaign, or if parts of the campaign were manipulated, or they were, made, I mean, if they made people believe what they were peddling, what happens is these sort of fake tweets do land up in real time. They do end up convincing people who have nothing to do with Bollywood that, maybe this did happen. And it's very, very difficult for those people to understand this is bullshit. I mean, I have had so many people who have suddenly woken up to Bollywood and they're so interested in knowing what these stars do. Do they really do drugs? And I mean, do they pay people to, kill others and watch on dark web? Like, fuck, Amazon chalta nahi India mein, dark web kahan se dekhoon?
Just imagine Salman Khan being on the dark web. Like, how is he going to do that? Like, I don't know if Salman can even buy bitcoins, let alone go to, like, dark web. Like,
it'll be like that scene in, like, Happy New Year where the password is, like, Charlie. But also, like, all this nepotism debate, like, people, like, when it first started, everyone was, like, sort of washing their hands and, they say, like, Beti Ganga mein haath dhona, sort of a thing. But the thing is, like, if you look at it, like, all these people have kids, even if they had, like, no connections to the industry or whatever. Like, if you're looking at Akshay, for example, and you're saying that, he was an outsider and he made it big, blah, blah, blah. But he's still married to, like, Tina Khandaan, and he has a son who everyone expects to make a launch. So eventually that nepotism thing is, like, going to come and bite him in the ass eventually. So, like, all these people have skin in the game, so to speak. So I can see why they came together, even if, they, whatever side of the political debate they're on. I don't find it surprising at all that they all came together.
When Sushant's death happened on June 14th, I think the first few days the conversation was really genuine and organic. I mean, there were really good discussions happening about the nepotistic culture of the industry, its gatekeeping attitude, and how, the outsiders don't really get a chance. All of that is extremely valid. And just because there are certain TV channels trying to, scream and divert attention, it doesn't take away from a long list of problems that the industry has. But to sort of turn it all around into a very muddled conspiracy theory of people killing each other, and I mean, it just got ugly to a point where it stopped making sense. And that's a truly tragic thing, because we could have used this awareness we had an opportunity, but I think we lost it.
I just think that things generally started at, to have a genuine conversation about all the aspects of the industry that probably led someone to take their own lives. But at some point, it just snowballed into this whole monster out of control, and the conversations went in all directions possible, and anybody and everybody who wanted to take advantage of it took their shot at it. And, it's just really an ugly face of how the Indian media operates. And one of the funny things that came out of the media release, that all these film studios are accusing these many people who are responsible for all the defamation and all of that, was somebody tweeted, Kangana Ranaut must have been feeling really left out of it, because she's been the one big loud mouthpiece who's been screaming at the top of her lungs from the roof, pointing fingers to everybody and anybody. And yeah, I just feel what the hell has been happening since June, man. Anyway.
I love the segue towards Kangana Ranaut, because that's another thing I want to ask Justin about. Like, because I think this gave you kind of a sort of notoriety, right? Like this thing that happened with the Kangana. And I don't want to, you've probably talked about it many, many times, I imagine, right? So I don't want to make you rehash it, but can you give me a little summary of what happened? Because you've been, like, the other thing is also, that comedian, Saloni. Yeah. She always mentions you whenever she does Kangana Ranaut, and that actually makes that whole thing last longer than the actual incident that happened, right? So I just
Saloni coined the "shut up, Justin" bit, and I think that really traveled a lot. Like, I think it traveled a lot more than the actual incident. I mean, till today, I have people, some from the industry, who, whenever I sort of reach out to them for a comment or for a story or for an interview, they start by saying, "Shut up, Justin." And then they sort of give me the quote. But I think that's fair. That's fine. It's all in fun and games.
So it's like in Schitt's Creek, you have you, David, and now in India, you have Justin. It's kind of the same.
Yeah. That's there.
You're an integral part of Bollywood pop culture now.
See, Amrita, I do Schitt's Creek references now. Happy?
I still haven't made it through the pilot, by the way. I've watched it 4 times now.
Why don't people listen to me and just start with like the first episode of the 3rd season? I keep telling people to do that and nobody listens to me.
I did. And I've publicly admitted that Amrita was right in making me push and watch this show. And I'm so happy that she did because it brought so much joy in my life. Let's move on to a bit of the things that we've been watching. No, Sujoy, let's start with you, man.
I've been watching BAAZIGAR, that we'll be talking about later, but also Serious Men, which is the Sudhir Mishra movie that's on Netflix with Nawazuddin, Siddiqui, and many others in the cast, and also the Hansal Mehta movie, web series on the 1992 Harshad Mehta case called Scam 1992.
Harshad Shantilal Mehta, big bull, man of integrity. BSc ka bachchan hai bachchan. Is he an idiot? Harshad is a hero. Fraud.
ये हर्षद मेहता बहनचोद है कौन?
Where is that streaming on? Because I was checking like where's everybody watching on, but I don't seem to have the app for it.
Yeah, it's on a OTT platform called Sony Live, which is India specific, so I use VPN for that.
Okay. So how's Serious Man?
I have so many things going on in my head. I just finished it a couple of hours ago, and it's a lot to take in. It tries to comment on so many different aspects of how India is, and it's sort of projecting the lower class mobility of trying to make it in this whole crowd of so many competitive Indians, and what it takes to be a parent and all of that. I don't feel like I will be able to articulate it well enough to express what worked for me in Serious Man, but it's definitely a great story and really well made movie that everybody should check out. I don't know how exactly to get into the details without discussing. I don't know if you would even consider spoilers, but did anybody else watch Serious Man?
I didn't because I couldn't find it.
It's on Netflix.
Yeah, sorry, I'm confused now. The reason I didn't watch it is because I didn't want to watch another Ghareeb Nawazuddin movie. That's the only. But I will. I've heard so many good things about it that I will. But I watched another Ghareebon ki film and it was Son Chidiya this week, and I was like, "Mera quota full ho gaya. I don't want to do another one."
You need more glitz and glamour in your life.
I do, man. I was like seriously considering watching Ginny Wet Sunny. That's how bad it was. I didn't do it, but I was close.
You wanted the Punjabi wedding back in your life.
Exactly. I just want pretty people. Yeah, I miss pretty people on screen. But it's worth it, Serious Man, you're saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, cool. And Scam 1992, what's that about?
So that's about probably one of the biggest financial scandals that hit 90s India back in the day. And the face of it, that was Harshad Mehta. And it's a 10-episode web series on Sony Live. It's called Scam 1992, directed by Hansal Mehta, who's done movies before, like Shahid with Rajkumar Rao. And this pretty much chronicles that whole era of how this small town man in Mumbai, living in a chawl in a joint family, goes from rags to riches, and his sort of ambition to make it big in a world where financial institutions were doing the same thing as him. And it kind of tries to sympathize with that character, but also shows how the failure of globalized India, when it was trying to catch up with whatever was happening at that time, and he was probably scapegoated into becoming the face of this whole corrupt scandal.
Justin, you also watched the show, right?
I did. I haven't finished it yet. I'm still halfway, but I'm really impressed by the series. I think it's so well performed and well directed, and I'm pleasantly surprised because I was kind of expecting it to be more stylish because it has sort of this fraudster as its central character, and often you expect the treatment to be extremely larger than life and etc. But I was really impressed by how rooted it was. I think it's a great series so far.
And I think, Sujoy, you were mentioning on Twitter that is this the same story that Abhishek's Bull is going to be based on? Because I don't know this.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the same character they're playing.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad that because this web series has 10 episodes to tell the whole story, and it kind of has, the freedom to expand on what his motivations are and what kind of journey that he goes in from, where he started and where it leads him to. But considering that Abhishek Bachchan movie called The Big Bull, is
Big Bull, yeah.
Yeah, it's coming out on Hotstar later this month, and it will be directed by a guy who's made Prince with Vivek Oberoi. So things don't look promising.
I feel bad for Abhishek, man. Like, it's like he can't catch a break,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's a sad one. I was kind of looking forward to The Big Bull, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to watch any of those because everybody's now on like some exclusive platform that I don't have access to, unfortunately. So that's kind of sad. Yeah. So yeah, I think I'm really bummed out. I think Hansal Mehta was quite happy also. I see him kind of like be happy on Twitter that like, oh, this streaming platform, my movies don't get killed by critics and things like that. And which was a bit weird because I felt Hansal Mehta has gotten good reviews usually, so I don't understand what the point he was trying to make, but he seems to be quite happy. Did anybody catch that tweet or it was just me?
No, I did not.
I have him on mute. Like, I have him on mute because like at some point he was just a little too much for me. Like, it's just performatively liberal. That's what I call it, and I can't deal with it.
I like that you didn't unfollow, but you muted him. It's like you wanted to share him.
Oh, I mean, I don't follow him at all, but I have his like handle muted in my settings. So even if somebody like retweets it onto my timeline, I can't see it unless like I go the extra step. So,
okay. That's actually something I should do too then. Like I get all my social media tips from Amrita. Okay, good. Amrita, does this sound interesting to you? Like Serious Man, a scam? Like you haven't watched anything Bollywood related in like 7 months. Will this get you to watch it?
Yes. I will actually watch. So there's like 3 things so far that I'm psyching myself up to watch. One is Arya. The other is Scam 92. And then also एक और था यार, Chudels, the one that you were talking about.
You still haven't seen Chudels?
I still haven't seen Chudels. But यार झमेला है यार, you have to go on the Z5 website and all, it's like too much. But if it's not on YouTube, then I'm just like, oh my god, I have to like sign in. It's too much. But also like I think like the last couple of weeks I was just watching Bomkesh movies for the podcast, and those things are addictive. Like I make fun of Sujoy all the time for going down.
And then in 1 week you watch all 7 movies or something. I know.
Like if you like murder mysteries, like they're like just really addictive ones, even when they're like funny and terrible. But you guys can like tune into the Tolly Folly podcast and find out why I found them so funny. But even then, like you just end up watching it because it's all very watchable. So that's what I've been doing with my time. But I will watch Scam 92 at some point. Hold it up.
Oh, Amrita, did you watch the LAXMI BOMB trailer, by the way?
ये भूत कुछ नहीं होता है। जिस दिन सच में मेरे सामने भूत आया ना, तो मां कसम चूड़ियां पहन लूंगा, चूड़ियां।
Yes, I did. I mean, I think I saw half of it and then I had to turn it off because I was so upset. I was so mad. Like, this is not what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be something else, but it's like he's possessed by a woman. Is that what it is? Like, what is it?
It's basically Bhul Bhulaiya 2, where Akshay Kumar is actually Manjulika. And he's...
He's actually possessed by, I think, a transgender ghost. So that's why it shift.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That's even worse.
I know, right? Yeah, it is. It's horrible.
And honestly, I thought, like you, Amrita, when the posters were coming out and sneaks and all that, I thought there was like some revenge drama, but this is like a houseful type comedy. Like, I was like, what? I got this. This was totally missold to me.
I saw the reference to Ashutosh Rana's performance in Sangharsh. He kind of spoofs that.
Yeah.
I will slap. I will turn into... Not you, but like anybody who goes around saying that. Like, oh my God. I actually showed it to Beth and Beth also had to turn it off halfway through because it was just so vile.
Yeah.
And also Kiara looks like his daughter. Like, what is he thinking?
Yeah, that was another thing that I pointed out to Asim as well. Like, why is Akshay looks like he's been starving or something, or he's on some sort of a low calorie diet or something that
must be all the cow urine he's drinking.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you guys make these jokes and not me. Bach gaya main, bach gaya. He looks terrible though. He looks really, really bad. And I don't know if it's supposed to be like some element of the story, but like looking at the trailer, it doesn't feel that they would put in that much effort into story. So it's sad, man. Like, I was like, I don't know, like a bell bottom looks maybe cool, but I don't know. Akshay is weird, man. Like, I don't know. I do still get a bit of an excitement ke, Akshay ki new film aa rahi hai and all that. But then when it comes out and I see it, all of that excitement just goes away. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I want to watch it. Justin, where do you stand on the LAXMI BOMB trailer?
Oh God, it was horrible, yaar. I of course I agree with Amrita. I couldn't finish it either, but I had to because I had to write about it or maybe work on the copy. But it was really bad. And my problem with LAXMI BOMB and films like LAXMI BOMB is that, these films don't even take effort to be good, I feel. It's so taken for granted, right? You have a star like Akshay, you have Kiara, you have a good production house backing you. The original film was done in 2011, if I'm not wrong. But in 2020, LAXMI BOMB looks so jaded. Like, it looks like a film which was discarded in the 80s and somehow landed up in 2020 on Amazon or Hotstar, wherever it's coming. And it's very sad. You have an Akshay Kumar who is so good at comedy. You can make a good horror comedy, but yet you still sort of become so lazy. And none of the jokes were working. They were so loud and tacky. It was a bad trailer. 2020 की तो और लग गई यार. पहले ही कौन सा अच्छा है? It's a bad trailer. And I was actually very angry because I agree, the whole campaign was so misleading. It felt like it would be a powerful revenge drama or a thriller, a transgender seeking revenge type of a plot. And because I had no clue about the original, I didn't see it. But when I saw the trailer, I was like, this is not what I signed up for. And definitely this is not why I'm on Hotstar for sure. LAXMI BOMB looks so bad. So embarrassingly bad.
I thought maybe I was confusing LAXMI BOMB with Bachchan Pandey, which is another film where he's standing up really straight on the poster and
wearing a lungi.
Yeah, maybe this is like a South Indian revenge drama. That's a transgender revenge drama, but I don't know, man. It's funny because he got a bit of positive buzz with the Bell Bottom release, that they shot the whole thing after quarantine.
Yeah.
And it was a bit of a misleading news item, but still, I think it got a lot of even positive press internationally. But then the trailer for LAXMI BOMB comes out and it's like, yeah, all the goodwill just goes away, so it's a shame.
How tone deaf does one have to be in 2020 to be able to make a movie like this? Seriously.
Yeah.
And he was doing like Padman, he was doing Toilet, like a couple of years ago. So it seemed like he had some semblance of, issues-based things, but I don't know what he's trying to do here. And I think it's probably also going to just make a lot of people mad, the portrayal and what the like, beside the point that it's another Akshay Kumar comedy which makes people mad anyway, but like how he's going about this, it's like all of the wrong moves in one go. It's quite bad. Justin, man, what else did you watch?
I watched Evil Eye, and I think I was quite okay with it. I didn't love it. I really liked the trailer though, but I found the film okayish. I mean, it was a good, fairly decent drama thriller. It didn't work too much either on the drama or thriller front, but it kept me hooked. And thank God, because the runtime was, I think, extremely short. It was not more than 90 minutes, and that worked in my favor. I was quite okay with the film.
So yeah, Evil Eye, it's directed by the Dasani brothers. It's produced by Priyanka Chopra and Blumhouse, and it's streaming now on Amazon Prime. It stars Sarita Chaudhary and Sunita Mani, who's in... I knew her from Mr. Robot, but then she's also in Glow. Obviously, Sarita Chaudhary, she's been an actress for decades, and she's great in a lot of things. And I think I'm a bit like you, Justin, and I also had that feeling with Cargo when I watched it a couple of weeks ago on Netflix. Is that I like the movie. It's not great, but I feel people should watch it because it can lead to better things later on. Like, I think it's a good kind of first step, and I think the challenge was huge for these guys. First of all, having a platform like Amazon Studio, and this is like a real international production shot in America with an all Asian, South Asian cast. In a horror genre, and not like Ramsey horror, like American horror.
Yeah.
So it's kind of different. And then also just having the cachet of a Blumhouse production. This is a production house that has had massive success with horror movies. They made Get Out, where they also had horror mixed in with, kind of an issue-based thing. And I do think Evil Eye deals with some issues like parental control, trauma. So there are a few elements that they kind of do, and I think maybe. And I was asking the filmmakers, because I interviewed them yesterday, about how they kind of combined those two issue-based, like how they balance the horror in a way. And actually, maybe I can put a clip in from the interview. So I know Blumhouse has kind of a very set way of working, like tight budgets and genre filmmaking. Was there ever any hesitation getting like full-on horror? Because when I hear Blumhouse, I think horror, but I don't think Evil Eye is like horror, like at least how, it's not gory or scary necessarily that way.
So Blumhouse, I mean, they're kind of known for horror in terms of what they've done, but if you look at their filmography, they've been involved in a lot of sort of interesting projects, and especially with Amazon, which is known for more elevated work and for sort of thrillers and dramas and different things. I think that this is another chance for Blumhouse as an entity to do sort of more diverse projects. And so This I think is more of a psychological thriller than it is a straight horror. The thing about Blumhouse is that all they really care about is they really care about a quality product. And when they say that they're conscious of the budget, it means that they want to spend the money on what ends up on screen. So
but yeah, Justin, you also interviewed them, right? How did that go for you?
Goes toward the quality of the product.
It went well because I had issues with the film. I really felt, Asim, they could have done a lot more. I understand it's a challenge because so much of the film is happening on phone calls, right? From US to Delhi. And it's a tricky bit to sort of chronicle for the screen. I felt the thrills were not thrilling enough and the drama was not moving enough. It was there, it was all there, but somehow I felt there should have been more. And my conversation with them was exactly about that, about the challenges that they face, because I think it's based on a very popular Audible original. I mean, how do you translate an Audible original to a 90-minute screen film? What
and
I
the
also
Audible
didn't like
is
was
only. Sorry, I was going to say the
Right.
Audible is only the phone calls. So that's how the Audible works. It's
Yeah,
just phone
correct.
calls. So now they've kind of made it into a movie. So it is a challenge, right?
It's a huge challenge, and what I also didn't like was how they sort of underlined the ending for me. When not a spoiler, but you know what I'm talking about, right? Like everything was spelled out. I mean, I felt, it's a smart film. You didn't have to do that.
Yeah. I did like one element I liked is that when the mom starts fighting, she uses really mom style to fight. Like she uses chili, she uses the patili, that kind of thing. I thought was kind of cool to do that. But
That was
I
smart.
do think that the movie does have pacing issues. And it is because, the original had these conversations and now you need to flesh it out. And sometimes it felt, suddenly they're like already moving in. It's like 4 months into this relationship. And then suddenly she's already in India or in America. And that happened really quickly. And I was like, wait, what's going on here? But
that happened really quickly.
Yeah. And maybe they were trying to say like, America mein sab fast hota hai, like that kind of thing. But I don't know. It was like a few times that I was like, the pacing seems a bit off. But I was really complimentary with them when I was talking to them. That I really liked the effort of it. And one thing that I also really liked and asked them is that they had me fooled. Like a few times I really thought they were in India when they shot it. Especially when they were on that bridge, right? Like I thought the production design was really well done, but they actually shot it in New Orleans. So imagine, they had me fooled. Although the apartment really didn't look Indian, that looked really like an American apartment that the parents.
Not at all. It didn't.
Although they were really happy with the posters that they found, so it's really authentic. So they mentioned it twice to me, so I was like, okay, they were really happy with that part. And you also watched DDLJ, right, at the Maratha Mandir, and I have this feeling, and sometimes you feel the dread of COVID pandemic, and you feel that the world is ending soon, right? And I feel that only cockroaches will survive, and they will be watching DDLJ in the Maratha Mandir.
How long have you been sitting on that joke, Asim?
This was freestyle. I promise I didn't prepare this one. So, how long has this movie been playing? 55 years? Like how?
Only 155, not 55. No, I mean, it's been playing for 25 years now, but it stopped because of the pandemic. So all the screens, all the theaters in Maharashtra are still shut. So the only way that Raj and Simran could stop their romance is because of COVID. And as someone who really loves Raj and Simran, I am not happy. Like, I want to register my displeasure loud and clear that how dare they stop Raj and Simran.
दूर से प्यार कर, दूर से
So I mean, I think we've already done like a podcast on DDLJ, haven't we? Even this Khandaan has been going on for too long, yaar. I don't even remember the movie. Have we done DDLJ, guys? We have, right?
You have, because when Amrita sent me the list, DDLJ was already covered. Yeah, it's there.
Okay, good. That's why Amrita is the brains. She knows.
Please come on our podcast and tell us what we've done, because we don't remember.
What is time? What is life?
So on my end, I watched Evil Eye like you did, and I also watched Son Chidiya. I don't know if I want to talk about it that much because it was on Z5, and I feel I've mentioned this a few times now. Sorry about this, people that are playing a drinking game of the things that I repeat. But we got like a 3-month subscription on Z5, and I think it's running out. So I was like, maybe I should watch the movies that I put on the watch list. So Son Chidiya was one of them. So I ended up watching them because there was so much praise about this movie. It totally bummed me out, man. Like I watched it last night and I was like, this morning, like, why did I watch it? You know, like it's not the good time to watch this movie. Sujoy, you have watched Son Chidiya, right? You really loved it. I remembered your words echoing in my brain when I put it on. So
well,
I'm partly
it was a
blaming
different time. I watched it. I was one of the few people who watched it at the cinema.
Yeah.
When it released in the UK, and sadly, Cineworld is closing, so no more Desi movies are in my neighborhood either.
It's insane, I'm so sad. Like I'm so pissed off that Cineworld. So Justin, this is like the big chain in the UK that shows pretty much every.
Yeah.
They show pretty much every Bollywood movie, and it's like 5 minutes away from my house, like a really good multiplex with a good theater. So I like everything I used to watch was there, and I'll even add this, man. I'm not from London. I've been living here for 15 years, but a main reason for me to be in London is to watch Bollywood movies. And when Cineworld shut down or gone on a hiatus, I really asked the question, like, why am I still here? Like, should I even be, you know? So I'm quite sad.
So if Cineworld is shutting down, like, are they refunding your memberships?
Yes, they are.
Like even if you haven't cancelled it, then it's on hold. Basically, they won't be charging you monthly. Otherwise, Otherwise, you can cancel it. Obviously.
I have still like not cancelled it, just like as holding out hope that it comes back. But I think everywhere it's a worrying time for movie theaters and how things are going to release. And even I was actually listening to a few American podcasts about movies, and they're having the exact same conversation there too. That if Disney is now solely focused on streaming. There was a big movie that was coming out, Soul, from Pixar. There was going to be a big release for them, and now it's dropping on Disney Plus. And they tried that experiment.
Black Widow might come to streaming directly.
Yeah.
And that would be probably the first nail on the coffin, as such.
Yeah, so you really start to wonder. I know that like Bollywood is holding hope for the cricket movie that Ranveer Singh made. I don't know what it's called. 83.
83.
Yeah. I was not planning to watch that anyway, but that is still supposed to come out in theater. But theaters have opened up in India, haven't they?
I mean, not entirely. There are some states which are still sort of holding on to the policy of theaters being shut. But yeah, I mean, there are places where it's open. But yeah, not many people are going, so it's not really encouraging. But yeah, 83 is...
And also the slate of...
Yeah, so right now they are only sort of showcasing old films like Thappad and Malang and War, because of course no new releases are there. Kedarnath, Chachore. But 83 is still eyeing for a Christmas release because they're sort of hoping that by Christmas the entire India will open up and the theaters won't be running on 50% capacity anymore. So that's the idea. So that's why I think 83 will be the first big release of December. Yeah.
Yeah, well, good luck to them because the way things are going right now, none of that is going to happen.
Yeah. Although I do find it interesting because I feel that the American situation in terms of theatrical is much more dire than the Indian one. And I think Indian cinema being kind of very insular and dependent on itself might actually be the savior. Because, where are these people going to go? Streaming is not where it is in America and things like that, and people would want to go back. And I think also we're kind of like dabang people, like if you want to watch a movie, we will go watch the movie, like we don't care. But on the other hand, this whole boycott Bollywood thing is going on too, so I don't know. Amrita, sorry.
I actually think the movie business is going to tank for a while, and it's not because of the boycott Bollywood gang, although they'll take the credit for it, I'm sure. But the thing is, like, disposable income in India is virtually non-existent, and it's going to be that way for a while because our economy is, like, in deep shit. And that's what all this, like, Bollywood nonsense is basically taking the attention away from. So a lot of these single screen theaters, the ones that wrote that highly emo letter a few weeks ago, those people depend upon the custom of people who are basically lower income. I mean, you're talking about ticket prices that are like 25 rupees, 30 rupees, like really low. Compared to, say, the multiplexes, which start at, say, around 250, 300 rupees. So it's like a vast difference. And the people that go to the multiplexes, they might be a little purse pinched, but the people who go to the single screen theaters, the ones that go for the massy movies, I mean, those people, how? Like, you can't go to work if your neighborhood is under lockdown, there is no government assistance. You're basically forced to work if you want to eat. I mean, things are dire, and at that point, like, are you really able to scrape together even that 30 rupees to go to a theater? I mean, I don't think that's going to work out for at least, I don't know how long it's going to take for the economy to recover, but it's going to be a while before the movie business recovers back to what it was before the pandemic.
But what should they do then? Should they just go streaming only? What do you think? Like Suryavanshi, right? That was the big one that was going to come out. Should they just because it annoys me the way streaming is working in India with these exclusives. Like, I don't want to have a subscription to Z and Hotstar and, all these other ones that you're talking to, and everybody has one movie that they're releasing on there. That annoys the crap out of me, I think even I'm getting an email from some, like, the PR that Chalang is coming out on Prime just now. A trailer dropped. I've not seen it yet. So yeah, that annoys me too, because I want to watch Suryavanshi and the fascism that it brings, and the Katrina Kaif number. But I don't want to subscribe to if it would be on an exclusive kind of thing. So it's kind of a, whereas Disney, they own the platform and they have a slate of things coming out. They also have some shows coming out that's exclusive to their channel. But I don't know how that would work for like a Suryavanshi or like whatever else was going to come out.
I mean, we've had this conversation before about how, like, the various people need to just sit down and figure their shit out, because right now everybody is like, oh, like, I think we have an opportunity, and honestly they don't. I mean, I can tell you straight up, like, a lot of this shit just really won't fly.
Yeah.
Also, like, streaming subscriptions are cheaper in India, but their international distribution wings are like equally as expensive as a Netflix or an Amazon Prime. So to compare like 50 exclusive Bollywood movies to this huge vast library of Netflix, I'm not gonna pay £7-8 for that, and
right.
So they need to in some way collaborate and not just be independent flyers, maybe perhaps like a Sony Live and a Z5 can collaborate and bring all of their content to with Amazon on some sort of a deal where I pay maybe a little more than my Amazon Prime, but I get all that content together rather than I have to sit and decide whether this month I should go for Hotstar or not,
And
they're basically trying to replicate the old cable model with
basically,
digital,
yeah.
and it's not gonna work.
But the other thing is also, like, Netflix, every week they have something new, right? I've had that Z5 subscription for 3 months. There's not been nothing new in the 3 months that I've had it.
मैं 3 महीने से यादों की बाराती देख रहा हूँ.
यार एक बार काफी थी. I can't do that second time. But like Chudels came out, and now I think Teish or Tesh, I don't know even how to pronounce the word. That's the new one that they're coming out with. I think Bijoy Namdar made it. It's coming out, I think, in the next few weeks. I don't know if I'll have my subscription by then. But yeah, it's kind of a weird situation where you have a streaming platform, the content is ready, but they're not talking to each other and they're not releasing it, like Coolie #1 is releasing in Christmas or something like that on Prime. So I don't know why Z didn't get hold of it, or you guys are mentioning, they're just not combining Jio Sawan and Balaji and all of the Indians as one umbrella brand that you can subscribe to, and then also have the international deals with it. I think that could actually be something that would be interesting to subscribe to, where individuals I'm not really that interested, because I don't watch that many TV shows and singing competitions and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, or it's going to be really, really sad. Justin, where can people find you online?
So I don't really, so PTI, so whatever work I do via PTI, it goes to all publications. So I don't really have, it doesn't work like a Pink Villa website where all the stories are there, but you can find me personally on Twitter.
Great. Amrita, where can people find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at AmritaIQ, and also on my BookTube channel, which is Amrita by the Book.
Sujoy?
I'm on Twitter and Instagram at @9E3K.
I'm at Asim Bernie on Twitter. You can follow us at YouPodcasting. Leave us a review, subscribe, leave us a rating. I'm going to be posting the Evil Eye interviews I did with the writer Madhuri Shekhar and the directors, the Dasani brothers, on the Bollywood YouPodcast edition page. So follow there. And I also know that, inshallah, the new Tolly Folly podcasts are coming too. Finally. So they will also be on the Bollywood YouPodcast edition page. So subscribe there, and we'll link to that into the show notes in any case. And our next episode, which we're going to jump into, is going to be BAAZIGAR with Justin Rao. So keep following. क्या बोलती